All right then, joining us on Nitro Nights, I said we would have her as a guest, and here she is. Simona, welcome to Nitro Nights. How are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Thanks for having me. It's definitely a different time for us as a race car driver, but it's not too bad actually to spend a little bit of time at home.
Yeah, indeed. Now, every guest that we've had on, we sort of tend to talk about the backdrop of what we can see, but I like this minimalist. I like it, Simona.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky to have one white wall behind me, so and where the internet is not too bad. So yes, that's my spot.
That seems to be the general challenge for everyone at the moment is getting good enough internet. And now I do want to ask you immediately about sim racing, but before we get there, I just wanted to find out about your new involvement with Porsche. And I know that you said that becoming part of the Porsche family as the first female works driver makes you very proud. But you know, your experience in Formula E is going to be so influential for them. How have you found your new role in the team?
Yeah, it's been a dream come true, to be honest, to sign with Porsche, because it's such a like awesome brand, especially in racing. That's kind of who you want to be with, and especially going for them going into the Formula E program, it's been pretty exciting. I have a bit of experience in Formula E, so I've been helping them a little bit in the development, and also with Neil and Andre. I'm at most of the races actually, and as a third driver, just in case something happens. But yeah, just being part of the team, learning from them as well. Being with a manufacturer, it's quite different than any other racing team I've been before. So it's just more full on with everything, and you learn a lot. And there's a lot of expectation on you as well. But the really cool thing is, like, every time you get in a race car, you can fight for a good position. And especially for Formula E, it's been really busy for them, for all of us. It's a lot of work on us, but we all work really well together. So it's quite fun.
Yeah, is it nicer? I mean, obviously, as a racing driver, you work as part of a team, but you feel very sort of singular. It feels like a single seat racer. You feel on your own, but now your task is more broader as part of the team. How are you finding that element?
Yeah, it's just much bigger. The cool thing about it's a big team, but it feels like a big family, and I think that's really different at Porsche. And if you ask any Porsche driver, that's what they say. It's just everybody works together. Also, when somebody is struggling a little bit, it seems like the team really helps. Try to find the best way for you, and I think that's really special. Because in racing it can be pretty cutthroat sometimes, and to be there for me now, it's really special. Also, if I look back at my career, I feel like I've never really gotten the shot. I've been close, but never been in the proper environment to be really successful and try to win races. And I think now signing with them, I think that's really that step that I've been wanting for and fighting for. And now it's kind of down to me to make the most out of it. So I'm pretty excited, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. But definitely, now it's weird not to be in a race car because I can't really show what I'm, how quick I am and things like that.
Yeah.
But we're all still in contact a lot, and actually, busy with what we're going to talk about next, I guess.
Yeah, well, listen, I was going to say, I mean, that's just life, the way it goes sometimes. You get this opportunity and then something else changes. But you mentioned the cutthroat world of racing. Now you're in the cutthroat world of sim racing. Let's start with, did you have much experience? What's your level at the moment? How are you finding it?
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's actually funny. I think when iRacing just had come out, maybe 10, 12 years ago, I got kind of signed up because I was racing in America and all that. And I did a few races and it was kind of fun, but I've never been really a video game person, so I don't really have the patience for it. And here I am today spending almost between 3 to 5 hours a day to be an average sim racer at the moment. So yeah, it's been pretty fun, but I think pretty frustrating actually, most of it, because it's quite different to drive. And I think I drive it too much as a car, so I need to find the little tricks and things and things like that. But Porsche as well, they have a few championships that I'm part of, so there's pressure there as well because they want us to do well as official drivers, and we're racing against sim drivers who are definitely quicker than us at the moment. So there's a lot of time spent in the basement right now to try to become a little bit quicker, and it's getting there, but there's still a lot of work, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, average. You can only at least it's only upwards, right? That's the positive. You can only
That's
go
true.
upwards. But
Yeah, well,
obviously
and
you
the
mentioned.
thing is, like each race, it's been, you put a lot of work in, and it seems like at the start, it's definitely more chaotic than any other normal racing. So far, I think I've managed to go through turn one only once in the last 5 races I've done. So hopefully that will improve as well. I think
Yeah.
we'll just learning.
Yeah, I mean, because it mentions on your website, I was doing my research, and it said the fastest woman on wheels in real life racing. Is the goal now to be the fastest in sim racing, and is one of the ways to do that is to almost forget about real life racing so that you can get better at the sims? Is that how you're going to achieve that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely trying to improve. There's a few drivers even in the Porsche roster who like Güven. He's really quick, and I think I'm just putting it to being like a young kid who loves to spend a lot of time in front of the screen. But no, he's really quick. So there's stuff to learn from him, and we have a few quick guys, and you just see that yeah, there's a different approach to it. Definitely, I feel like there's a few things that I'm picking up that I don't think I would do in a race car normally. So you try to learn this. Hopefully it doesn't stick too much when I get back to real racing. But yeah, we're competitive. So we are, I think I'm gonna try anything to be quicker on the sim, even if it's maybe something that is not exactly what I would do in a race car.
Yeah, I imagine at the moment, Simona, it's just very frustrating for you once you leave the basement, just frustration. But hopefully you'll be getting there. Simona, I wanted to ask about the process of you getting your rig and what was your involvement with Racing Fuel Academy? Are they helping you train and kind of what's that process been like?
Yeah, so actually, I kind of got in contact with them as soon as this whole Corona thing started to happen, and I knew that I wasn't going to be racing. So yeah, I kind of called them up, and they're actually just on the other side of the lake from where I live. And I know they have pretty good products, so I was like, okay, I need to at least get the good material to be from mediocre to average, and and yeah, it's been good. The rig has been awesome. It's so easy. It was like easy to plug in. I'm not the most techie person out there, so it's just really straightforward to get on with it. But no, actually, who's helping us the most? Actually, through Porsche, we have a bit of a help through there. So we have some testing going on with them and with all the boys. So it's been quite fun because we all get on at the same time and we all practice kind of together and yeah and learn from each other. So it's been good.
Yeah, Ayhancan Güven was a guest on the show, and I mean he is incredibly quick in the Porsche Supermobile One Virtual Edition Cup. Him and Larry Ten Voorde are incredible. Has he been
Yeah.
able to give you any tips?
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating to see how much quicker he is. It's not tense. It's like maybe 1 or 2 seconds sometimes. So yeah, it's quite a lot. And yeah, he just drives it way differently. I don't know. I think the big thing I'm starting to figure out is that you have to anticipate so much more. Because you don't really feel the car, so it seems like when you're catching it before it actually oversteers, you gain a lot of time in that. So I think you just have to unprogram your head a little bit and go down. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's incredibly quick. I think anything is jumped in right now on iRacing. He's been right there. So yeah, definitely. I think all of us are chasing him in the Porsche family.
Indeed, and I mean it's going to be a great competition tomorrow when he races Larry Ten Voorde again. I did find out, like in terms of techniques to help the people who watch Nitro Nights, is NLP, the neural linguistic programming, ever come into your training so that you're able to anticipate certain turns? I mean, you mentioned it. Turn one is something you need to overcome. So would NLP help that in some way?
Maybe. I think, to be honest, I'm just really, getting on top of it, all the things that I need to learn. And the start is just, the problem is I think I'm usually where all the other race car drivers are and not the sim racers. And you see a
Yeah.
difference between us racing driver and the sim race. I think the sim racers are much more clean, when they try to pass. And like for us, or for me as well, when I see a gap, I don't know, I just go for it. And I think in the normal race car, it would kind of be okay because you can feel the other car, where on the sim you can't, so you can't really judge that. And I think for us racing drivers who don't have that much experience at the moment, it's a bit hard to understand that where really the other car is, how close it really is, because normally in the car you have that feeling around you. And that's been interesting. And I think, you can really see, I think most of us who get in trouble are the proper race car drivers and not the sim racers. And that's what everyone seems to say. It's, we just, don't maybe leave enough space or things like that and end up crashing. So we are learning that, and I'm learning that. And it's a learning process for sure.
Okay, and I just wanted to ask, Simona, which platforms are you training on? Is it iRacing, R-Factor, Assetto Corsa?
Yeah, iRacing. So I told myself I'm just going to stick to one for a bit until I kind of get all right. So iRacing has been the biggest thing. And we do the Porsche Cup, and there's also a few little championships here and there that I try to get on. So I try not to get too confused with it, because the cars are different and stuff like that. So try to get my head around one car and kind of move on from that. And once I'm much better, I think then it'll be a bit the plateau will be a bit more open. But I think it's fun racing a few guys in Australia as well, where I used to race. So it's been pretty cool actually to kind of be in contact with everyone.
Yeah, I suppose that's during this COVID-19 pandemic. That's the best time. It connects people again, but not physically. It's just online. Well, listen, Simona, I'm loving chatting to you so far, but I have to be quite difficult now and give you the quick fire question round. Are you ready for the quick fire question? I'm not. It's not going to be easy. Okay.
I hope so.
Okay. All right, Simona, your time starts now. Happiest moment racing in your career?
Podium in Houston Indycar.
Switzerland to live or the USA?
Switzerland.
Ooh. Best food from the USA?
Burger.
Just a burger. No cheese, no salad, no nothing. Just burger.
No, it's a normal burger.
Favorite car you've raced in your career so far?
Indycar.
What series are you watching right now?
Dead to Me.
Ooh, okay. Who will win the next ABB Formula E Racing at Home Challenge?
Hopefully Andre.
Favorite circuit to race on?
Bathurst.
Things you missed most about real life racing?
Like the speed.
Okay. Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram.
One thing you'd hate to be without?
My phone.
What question do you get asked most in interviews?
How is it to be a female race car driver?
Driving inspiration?
What is it, driving inspiration?
Driving idols you have?
Oh, idols. Michael Schumacher.
Perfect. You have completed. There was one more question, which was, what is it like to be a female racing driver? But we've decided.
Weird. That's weird. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't really. It was gonna be a joke. It was gonna be a joke. But there we go. And I think that's perfect, Simona, to ask you. You get asked that question all the time. So I wanted to talk about women in motorsport. There's a lot more different initiatives that are coming through. What do you make of them? Are you a fan of them?
Yeah. Well, I think in racing, it's if I look at my career, I think what has not happened yet is that for a good female to get a proper chance in a proper race car, and I feel like right now I got this chance with Porsche, and that's kind of where this hopefully we can change a lot of mindsets in that yes, if we are in the right equipment, we can be right where we need to be in front. So I think that's been missing. And the initiatives, I think what you're pointing out is like the W series. I think it's great, in the sense for young girls, for a lot of drivers, it's really difficult to actually come up the ranks. lucky to have people behind me always support me, and trying to find sponsorship and things like that throughout the years. And I think if you're 16, 17 coming out of go-karts, why not? Because you can win some cash and hopefully move on from there. The only thing a little bit that I'm seeing right now, and with the W series, the problem is, I think Jamie's really quick, and she's won the championship, but it's not that she's been able to go to a proper team, so I think the risk there is to see, it in a failure as well, in the sense because you're not getting the chance, and I think that's a bit frustrating, and I think that's what's been missing, is getting the chance in the right team and in the right car. So hopefully, people get to have that, and I think it's not a bad thing, for young girls. But what's really missing is getting the opportunity, because as a driver, I don't think all of us are so far off the pace or anything. It's just being at the right team, right people around you who also want to see you succeed. So that's what I'm fighting for, and hopefully we can change the mindset of some people.
I think you put it brilliantly there, that it's the opportunity. If the W Series is brilliant and it makes more female drivers visible to everybody, great. But where do they go from there? So constructively,
that's the thing.
Constructively, how could it? No, you go. No, you go, Simona.
That's the thing. I think if you're young, it's good, and it's just where does it go? To be honest, I don't see why it has to be segregated, great, because I think I've shown in IndyCars that I was able to do a podium and all that. So I think just being racing against female drivers, I don't think it's the way to go. But in the sense, if you do get an opportunity to race something and it gives you some sponsorship to move forward, I think it's a good idea. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, speaking to Charlie Martin, the racing driver, she was saying about the visibility. So I suppose it would be great to have more female drivers, so that you don't have to ask the question. It's not a difference of gender anymore. It's about, are you the fastest driver? That could be the opportunity. Why do you think that more bigger teams won't take on talented drivers?
I don't know. It's an interesting question, because if I look at my IndyCar career, I think I had shown that I had the pace, but it's not that any of the top teams really called me to go racing there. And I think it's still different, and I think until someone really proves it, it's not going to happen. At the end of the day, somebody has to show that it can be done, and I think then it'll be okay. But I don't know. That's what I've been fighting for my whole career, pretty much. And I'm not the youngest now, but I feel like finally I'm getting my shot with a 31. So hopefully it'll open the eyes. But it's just I think it's still new. In every racing series, there's not that many seats available. So there's quick guy. Maybe you just go with what is safer or whatever. But I think it's a bit silly, because I think if we're in the right car, I think myself, I'm all right. So I think that's a point to be proven for sure.
Yeah, I mean, reading the article, the interview with Sophia Fleur, she was talking about the F3. Why go to the W Series when she's already in F3? It would be seen as a step backwards, not because it's not a good thing, but just for her specifically. I guess I'm interested to know then, you've had the pressure on you throughout your career and you've wanted to succeed. Does that pressure ever subside at all? Or now you've got the opportunity, surely that means there's more pressure on you.
Yeah, I think there's always pressure, and I think it's good, in the sense, and I think as a racing driver, you always try to be better, and always you try to improve yourself. And I think with age you start to learn a little bit more how to deal with the pressure. But I think it's always there. And for me, for sure, having Porsche behind me, it's a big deal. A lot of people dream about an opportunity like this, so that's really what you fight for, and you fight to stay there as long as possible.
Okay, well, brilliant to get your insight in it on Nitro Nights, Simona. I've got two fan questions that I've picked out here for you. This one comes from Bob. He says, "Will you please come back to IndyCar?"
I don't know. I don't. We never know where the future is. But right now I'm really happy in my position with Porsche, and maybe an Indy 500 if the calendars would align, or the stars would align, and something like that could be a possibility. But yeah, no, at the moment it's not possible, and quite happy where I am right now.
Okay, there you go, Bob. Simona is happy where she is right now, but we never say never. Okay, also this has come from, I believe, Nige, but his name is @potato_Nige, which is a great name. With every race car driver practically stuck in home simulators right now, is there any worry you might pick up bad habits playing these games that won't translate into the real world? I think you've touched on that, but just for Nige, are you worried about those habits?
I'm not worried about it, but definitely it could happen. To be honest, if we don't end up racing for a whole year right now, and just really work on how we're driving on the simulator, we could pick up some different things and maybe some bad habits. But hopefully when we get back in the car, it'll come back to us very quickly. But yeah, it is different. To be honest, it's I feel myself I'm much more abrupt with the steering wheel and turning it much more than I actually would in a normal car. So, and I think it has a lot to do with settings as well. I'm learning a lot on that, and how you set everything up. But yeah, it could be that maybe we're all going to be not so good race car drivers at the end of it. No, I'm kidding. I think we'll be all right. But yeah, it's different. So hopefully we won't pick up too many bad things. Yeah. But the reset button has been pretty nice, actually, I think, when we crash. So, maybe we could introduce that in real life now.
Yeah. I don't know how we'd start that, but it's a fantastic idea. I'm going to jot that down, and we'll take it from there. Well, listen,
and the car Simona, is, it's not broken, so it's perfect. You come back and one piece again, so it's not too bad. Yeah.
There's no financial implications. It's perfect.
No.
Well, listen, I think when you do return to racing, hopefully you're setting even faster lap times. I think from what you're saying, maybe they'll be a little bit slower to begin with, and then they'll speed up again. Well, listen, Simona, I wish you all the best with everything in your career, and thank you for taking the time to come and join us on Nitro Nights. I do have one final question, though, if that's okay.
Yes.
And it's about Swiss people. Is it really true that you have to take your Swiss chocolate with you wherever you go?
Yes, I do tend to travel with some chocolate, but not just for me, but most of the time I get asked to bring chocolate with me. So, I lived in America for like 8 years, and definitely there was always about like 1 kilo of chocolate traveling with me constantly, going to Australia as well. So yeah, it gets, you bring it in, and people tend to like it. So it's a bit of a dilemma that we have as a Swiss person.
Okay, well, listen, when I meet you on the track at some point, I expect some Swiss chocolate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time, Simona. All the best. Thank you for joining us on Nitro Nights today. And to guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, we'll be back on Monday after the weekend to catch up on all of the races that have been taking place across the weekend. Until then, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.